All right. How you doing today, Jace? How's it going?
Yeah, it's going good. How about you, man?
Good, good. Just been some volatile times, but really exciting over the last few, even the last few months, but really the last couple of weeks. I mean, it seems like every day it's getting more and more exciting
Yeah.
with this. And but everybody, welcome today, and any questions you have, we'll be happy to answer. And I'm accumulating some questions, so instead of maybe we'll do one show, we'll just go. We'll see if we can just do like maybe a question and answer
Yeah.
show. I'm accumulating them, so we don't just do like one or two at a time. Um, but
That'd be good.
welcome to Crypto Corner, everybody. We want to keep you crypto current, and we really appreciate the questions that have been coming in, and just make sure you check in the description for Jace's. We got a question already. Look, Tyler, you see it?
Tyler, why is XRP?
Beautiful question right off the bat. Let's get into it.
Yeah. Okay. So in crypto, obviously the markets are very volatile. It's normal for in a bull run, at least in cryptocurrency, to have massive pullbacks. So, there's something that we teach about in Conscious Crypto Academy called Fibonacci retracement. So what that is the Fibonacci ratio. This is really cool too, because it shows you that like nature and kind of consciousness itself, in terms of creation, is built into the markets in terms of these patterns. So that Fibonacci ratio that's in the spiral, seashells and all throughout nature, that those same fractal mathematics play out in the markets. And Tyler says he bought some more. Good move. Yeah. So it's a good opportunity to get more. Think of it as like a flash sale. But basically, with these Fibonacci ratios, there are certain levels that it will hit when it's retracing, which means it goes up and then it comes back down and then it goes up again. So it's normal to see a 50% to 60, even 75% pullback on the point where it starts running up. And so what that means is if we have a huge pump, like we've had the last couple of weeks where the price has just been going up, XRP was up nearly 5x from 50 cents to $2.80. So what is that? Over 5x. And what's up, Lily? What's up, Ken? Hey, everybody. So it's normal to see that pullback happen. And it's actually healthy within the crypto markets because it means that we're going to be getting this more even, balanced recapitulation. And it's kind of like vibration in general too, on the spiritual sense, where when you're kind of waking up spiritually and your vibration's going up, there's moments where it comes back down, right? It's almost like you have these really expansive moments with your vibration where you get really awakened and you see things like in a way you've never seen before. And then kind of your life might come a little more 3D and a little more normal, where you have to go back, take those lessons from those upper realms and kind of apply them into the more like 3D realm. And you get, up and then down and then up a little more and then down and then up a little more. And it's the same thing.
It reminds me of if a guy is walking up climbing up a mountain, and he's climbing up the mountain, and then he's going to have it's going to flatten out, then it's going to go up, then it's going to go on a steeper angle and flatten out. But when you look at the big picture and you step back, he's ultimately walking up the mountain. So it's ultimately going to get to you're going to get to the peak, but nothing goes straight up. You're going to get your waves, and just so you can see some of the things that have been coming out, just in a month, we have XRP surged 380% in 1 month, becoming the third largest crypto. So when you start to see, things like that, and you're going to get corrections, because people are going to start to take profits, and they're going to start pulling out. So just like all the buying pressure pushes a crypto up, or any investment really, when there's money inserted into it, it's going to start to move up. But when money starts to get pulled out, it's going to start to cool off a little bit. But that's setting up for the next bull run. So good move, Tyler, and buying more, because that's where it's going to go. And so we were talking about how XRP can have a Black Swan event. So, Jace, you want to talk about what that looks like,
Yeah.
Tyler?
Yeah, I'm just real quick. I'm just sharing this to my Telegram group so we can get more people in here. So, basically, what Black Swan means is Black Swan is kind of a multi-market crash. So, a lot of people have been talking about a Black Swan event coming for years now. And it wouldn't just be crypto. It would be most likely real estate, stocks, gold and silver, like every market. And the scenario that we've been seeing within the crypto community, particularly within the XRP community for years, is that if there was a massive Black Swan event, and what we're seeing right now is not a Black Swan. This is just a normal pullback. But a Black Swan would be like everything tanks, like, basically Great Depression level of, financial emergency. And if that did happen, which, I feel like it's less likely now than it used to be. I used to feel that this was going to be almost, undeniable that it was going to happen, but it feels like we've had some positive timeline shifts, especially what's happened with Trump and the pew pew to his ear and all that kind of stuff. I'm trying to keep the algorithm from censoring us. So I feel like we're on a better timeline where it's not as likely, but it's still possible. But if it did happen, that's where I really believe XRP and crypto in general, but particularly XRP, would be the phoenix that rises from those ashes. That would be kind of the reset of the financial system. And I think that that's what they were trying to push with the whole Great Reset thing, would be this Black Swan event. And then there would be a moment where their chosen cryptos would come up. And that's where I felt too that XRP is this technology that both the dark and the light were seeking to control, because it's a powerful technology. So whoever has, kind of more strings to pull over it, or whoever owns more, would have kind of greater leverage. But now that we're on this more positive timeline, it feels like that's not going to happen. When's the last time you even heard people talk about the Great Reset in terms of,
that's true.
The WEF? Like, it's not really a talking point anymore. So it feels like we've averted that. And I'm pretty hopeful that, this is going to be, right now, I think this will be a pullback. It's pretty considerable right now, but that's healthy for the overall market. And I saw Lily say too, I know she was talking about on her channel that she was getting this feeling from her guides that, there could be a big market crash, whether it be Black Swan or just, a more, like basic crash, but that, then there would be a parabolic pump. And in crypto, I was talking to you about this right before, but in crypto, they call it a shakeout, where, there's manipulating factors pulling the strings with these markets. There's AI trading bots, there's institutions that are buying and selling to manipulate. And a lot of times what they'll do is they'll scare people out of the market, people who are newer investors, who, are hopeful, but then get really scared when they see a 50% pullback on their wallets. And so what does that do? It shakes people out. They sell, whether they're selling for profits or they're selling out of fear for their own livelihood. And then the price goes down. And then what happens? The big institutions come in, they buy the dip, and then whoof, it shoots back up higher than it ever was before. So,
and then you get the same things where you get the same people complaining about who lost money and who made money. And it's because it's the same thing, the same pattern over and over and over again. The people who do stuff out of fear are always going to take the hit. Especially, so when things go good, they'll complain that they did have it and they lost it. And they, or they bought at a high and sold at a low because they got shaken out.
Yep.
So exactly. If you believe something in the long run is going to be, is going to be there, and it's going to be, a part of the future of our financial system and where we're going, then these little shakeouts and these little corrections should have literally no effect on you. And one thing you don't want to be deceived with is you have to realize that if let's say XRP was, let's just use a round number of $3, if it goes down to $1.50, that's a 50% loss. In any other scenario, that's like a massive number, right? So you have to keep that in mind when you're looking at, what's going on, because a 50% loss, say in Bitcoin, that's a $50,000 loss, right? So that's where it looks a little bit different. So, so you always got to realize, where the price is, and don't, so when you look at what the percentage gain and loss is, it don't always, correlate to a big dollar amount, depending on where you're at as far as, the price of that crypto or stock or whatever else you're investing in. So, yes, you know what I mean? Because when you see those big, a loss like that, big percentage.
I gotta answer some of these comments here. They
go ahead.
It's not, it's tea with a little bit of milk in it. So it looks like a giant thing of milk, but it's
for his tummy.
It's well, it kind of is. I mean, it's barley tea, so it's I don't know. I like barley tea, and it's just got a splash of milk and some honey in it. But it looks like I'm drinking a giant thing of milk. But here, some of the other questions. Lily says it's an opportunity, really, and I think that's the good way to think about it. We said that kind of earlier, but think of it as a flash sale. Think of it in the long-term game. For us, we're not trying to play the market. We're not trying to buy and sell. Some people can do that successfully, but for most people, they'll end up getting wrecked trying to sell high and buy low. So if you're in it for the long-term game, treat this as a discount. Everything's on sale. You can scoop up more at a discount. And they call that dollar cost averaging, where you put in a little bit of money every 2 weeks, every month, every paycheck, whenever you can. And no matter where the market's at, you're putting in X amount of money, a couple hundred, couple thousand, whatever it is. And then you're averaging out your entry price into the market. And then Tyler mentioned
that's a good way to do that.
The 60 Minutes interview. John, did you catch that interview, or did you hear about that? So Brad Garling, with Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple.
Oh no.
I'll send you this afterwards. So this was it was getting hyped up for the last week because Brad Garlinghouse, head of Ripple, he went on 60 Minutes and he had posted about it and originally said, hey, it's going to air, tomorrow. And then he was like, oh, they told me it might not. So then we were waiting and a week went by and it ended up airing this past Sunday. And people were speculating, is this going to be bullish? Is this going to be bearish? Like, is this going to be something supporting Ripple? And most people were hoping and were thinking that it would be something that would be helping Ripple and supporting them and making them look good. But of course, the MSM and the way that they manipulate things, they took what was a 90-minute interview with Brad and they cut it down into like probably just a few minutes of him actually speaking. And then the rest of it was like people that were trashing Ripple and trashing XRP that were kind of allied with the SEC. So it was very poorly done on 60 Minutes part, but like, hey, what can you expect? Concha's Dairy Academy, Tyler says. You're so yeah, I mean, the 60 Minutes thing could have been it was very much, at least on the timing of it, aligned with the market going down. So I don't know if that was actually the trigger, but you would think if it was, that it would have just been XRP, but it's the whole crypto market, like it's Bitcoin and everything else too. So maybe that was the beginning of the domino that caused people to start selling off the weaker hands, or the institutions trying to like scare people so they could buy it up. But yeah, who knows? So
when you look at the the whole kind of universe with XRP that we're looking at, how and you want to fit it in with your whole dairy regimen, but with XRP, SOLOGENIC, COREUM, STRONGHOLD, where do you see that? How do you see them complementing each other? In if everything goes and we start using the utility of XRP as far as the transfer system and processing those transactions, how do the other ones fit in, so they can get an idea, if they can draw a picture in their head on why they go together so well?
Yeah, so I think a good way to start that conversation is by talking about ISO 20022, which is ISO is the International Standard Organization, and ISO 20022 is a particular standardized body that they've created for the payments infrastructure. So this is crypto and normal payments as well. It's going to be everything. And it's basically the new international standard for any form of payments. It's going to have to be compliant with this. So all of the cryptos that you just mentioned that I'm invested in, that we focus on, they're all ISO 20022 compliant. So Bitcoin is not, Ethereum is not, most other cryptos are not, which probably means they're not going to be sticking around in the long run, at least not in the regulated payments infrastructure. And, Donald Trump has already expressed that he's a fan of regulated cryptocurrencies. So if there's ones that fall outside of this regulated structure, they might not do so well in his administration. So in addition to that, like basically all of these cryptos that we're focusing on are connected to XRP in one way or another, whether that's funding from Ripple. So we look at, what is Ripple investing money in? Because Ripple being the company associated with XRP, if they're putting money in other projects, like I want to know what that is. I want to research that, and that's where my intuition has guided me. And then on the technology level, a lot of them are connected to XRP on a blockchain level. So COREUM, for instance, COREUM is a bridge between XRP, the XRP ledger, and another crypto ecosystem called the Cosmos ecosystem, or they call it the IBC, which is nicknamed Internet of Blockchains, but I think it's technically Inter-Blockchain Communication, I think is what it stands for. And that world is basically kind of where a lot of the Web3 stuff is happening, and it's where all these different blockchains can talk to each other. So COREUM connects XRP to that ecosystem, and COREUM is also, made for ISO payments. It's compatible and kind of geared toward working or replacing with SWIFT, which is the banking transfer system that XRP is also trying to go for. So on the surface, a lot of these seem like they might be competing, but they're actually just kind of narrowed in their specific niches of what they're doing within that payments infrastructure. But in general, like all these cryptos, the way I explain it to people is that they are the ones we're focusing on are transmuting the financial system and alchemizing it from the inside out instead of trying to go to war with it and replace it from the outside in. So like Bitcoin and Ethereum especially are basically trying to replace the current financial system by going to war with it. And to kind of, compare it spiritually, I kind of liken it to like, when you're dealing with your shadow side, your shadow aspect, we talk a lot in the spiritual space about integrating your shadow, not running from it, not trying to ignore it or replace it. Like you need to work with it and integrate it and transmute it. And I see the same thing with the financial system. Like we don't want to go to war with the shadow. We want to integrate it. We want to alchemize it from the inside out. And so that's what all these assets are doing, is they're working with the financial system to transmute it from the inside out instead of trying to just head on replace it and say, you don't need gold, you don't need dollars and all that stuff. So yeah, I don't know. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. So, and how they get in, because what we're looking to, what you talk about, and it really, that's what one of the things that resonated with me with the strategy was, something with utility, something that's going to have some type of functionality for the future in moving forward, and is just, head and shoulders better than anything else in that space that could, do the same type of thing, but they just can't do it at the speed of, or at the fees, it's a less cost with the XRP.
Yeah.
And family. So, but and then just it was interesting how with SOLOGENIC and with COREUM, how you could you're sending you it all together, so you can almost, you're sending not just currency, but you're able to send different hard items as well to the other side of the world with that, and become your own bank brokerage and whatsoever. So, and that's just that, because the whole system needs to kind of come down and be replaced. That's just how it's got to get.
Yeah. So like, with on payments wise, I mean, the fastest way to move money right now, even from the East Coast to the West Coast, is to get cash and get on a plane and fly it there. If you're going from one bank to another, it's going to be 3 to 5 business days. And that's just like, slow and archaic, and the banks use that to their advantage. They use that friction to leverage your money and to make money and to do all this stuff. So that's why, the banks on the surface have been so opposed to like Ripple and XRP, even though it's, people call it the banking coin because it's trying to integrate the banks, but the banks are not really a fan of it because it replaces their kind of biggest profit system, their money-making system, which is all the friction in the current financial system.
Yeah, but and also it's not something where because of the way it's positioned of being how it's a decentralized and what those type of positives are, where we're not under one central power that can just manipulate the shit out of it. That can't happen. So if the banks can't take control of XRP, if they can't take control of it, they're going to oppose it. If they could, you would see them all over. They'd be all over it because they just got another way to dig in. But with this, it truly is. It's a way, and it's a way I think how it was always meant to be. But when you have someone in charge of the money, that money flow, they literally have the power to do whatever because that's how we live. So it's probably very hard not to get corrupted and start to and do what they did over all these years, because you just look at it, it's like 95% of the people would probably in those positions would do the same, get there. I mean, over time, because it just seems like they get more and more corrupted and they get more and more greed, because once you have power, you want to beget more power, right? Once you have money, you want to beget more money. It don't end. It's not rich. They're never rich enough or powerful enough. So, so having something like this is awesome. And yeah, they're diametrically opposed to this. But so when you look at it, we see all the positives, and we are really on a, where we're at now. It's different than a few years back where we thought these same things, but we had a lot of stagnant. It was stagnant for a while. There was really no movement. It was up and down, very small. Now we're at a point where we, moving into 2025, it seems like all the BS is kind of cleared out of the way, and we, you kind of dig your way through the shit, and now we see the light, and it looks like 2025 it's going to move. But with that being said, with the kind of strategies for how people would be moving forward in the investment in crypto, investing in it, the strategies in the current market. If you look at risk management, would you say, it's similar to different types of investments as far as to kind of diversify within different asset classes with crypto, just like you would in different investments, to kind of spread the risk over different coins? So you're not all in with one, even though, we have a knowing that, say, XRP is going to do X, right? But with that, what would you say the best way to kind of spread that risk a little bit, so that they're still going to benefit from that up market, but maybe not take on all the risk of having everything in one basket?
Yeah. I think it's good to diversify, but not over diversify, to be confident enough in what you're investing in, but still have a little bit of diversification. So for me personally, and for what we teach in our academy, we're diversifying amongst like 5, 6, 7 different cryptocurrencies, and they're all the payment ones. They're all the ones that we're talking about with ISO 2022, compliant and all that. And what's nice is that you can kind of use that to your advantage to play the market, where even though we're not really doing like trading that much, if one of those takes off relative to the other ones, you can move some of that money into one of the other ones that hasn't taken off yet. So like we're diversifying. To give you some examples, obviously XRP, XLM are 2 big ones. Stronghold is another payment one that's connected to XRP and XLM. It's kind of the bridge, and they're working on the ACH payment rails within blockchain and merchant interactions with customers. So some of these are really undervalued, and they're under NDAs and like super under the radar, which is why getting them is such a ripe opportunity right now. And so that's where it's like, even though XRP is like the big, the big deal, the big kahuna, like some of these other projects, because they're so small market cap, we're talking 300 million and lower. COREUM, for example, is only a $100 million market cap right now, compared to the multi tens of billions of XRP. It might be over, it is, I think, over 150 billion or something like that right now. So,
and growing.
Yeah. So 100 million market cap is like, that's a little baby. And if you can get those, that's where if it really takes off, you can take some of that and put it into more XRP, or, you know, kind of play the market in that way. But that way you're a little bit diversified, but you're still investing in the payments infrastructure. There's a new one that I just started investing in that I haven't even talked about really on my channel or anything yet, called Velo. And Velo, they call the Ripple or the XRP of Asia. So they are working on the payments market in Southeast Asia. So like, this is another thing, is you can see where, you know, what regions are doing what, and like invest in kind of the different regional technologies. And what made me really pull the trigger on Velo is they started posting a bunch about Ripple and XRP, like educational bits on their Twitter page, on their X. And that's not normal for one project to be, they call it shilling in the crypto space. If you're talking about and promoting another project, they call it shilling that project, as a funny term. And so they're shilling XRP. And so people are like, why are you not talking about your own coin? There must be a partnership coming up, right? Because if you're talking about it and you're promoting them, it must be benefiting them. And so there were some things that they put out there that insinuated there was going to be a partnership. And that made me go, okay, I'm going to buy some of this coin, because if they're partnered with Ripple, that's going to probably be a big impact on the price. And then I can always take some of that profit and put it in.
Is that VILO?
VELO.
VELO, okay.
Yeah. And I'll show you how to get it. You know, a lot of these smaller ones, they're not easy to get because they're not on the big exchanges. And that's why being early, and why following people like us and having a coach and joining groups like Conscious Crypto Academy can help you get these smaller projects that you can't get on Coinbase or Uphold or crypto.com. And eventually they will be listed on there. And this Velo one looks like it's about to be listed on Binance, because Binance is one of the big exchanges, and they on their records of the blockchain, they've been buying up a ton of the supply of Velo, which is what happens before they list, you know, coins. So you can go, and if you know what you're doing, technically you can see what coins exchanges are buying. And then that's a good indication they're about to list that, and you can get in early on it. So Velo is actually a layer 2 on Stellar, just like Stronghold is. So you get it the same way you get Stronghold. We do it through the Lobster wallet app. But you have to make sure you find the right asset, because on Lobster, there's a lot of fake ones too. So you got to make sure you're getting the right one. So I'll show you which one it is. And for any of you guys watching that want to know, just send me a message or join my my public Cosmic Origins Telegram, and I'll show you how to.
You know what? And that's good with your program. That really is, because not only, you know, you get some different recommendations, and you see what, you know, it's not just someone telling you what to go and invest in. So you're not worrying about someone who read a headline and that's what they're going to put out, not really doing the research. He very rarely will, if he talks about something, it's something that he researched and he himself is going to move forward with. And that gives you a lot of confidence going, oh, well, he's got skin in the game too. So he's just not kind of leading me down this road, you know? So that's and for the longest time, which I have the same, you know, I had the same type of strategy back when I was in a traditional investments, but not to over diversify and be in a very like a strong kind of, you know, grouping of stocks and bonds that are in a very similar area, but that are hitting different facets of it that'll work together and complement. And you can really, even if you exchange between them, you're still invested and you're still kind of moving forward with that group. Again, if you have the confidence in it and you believe that it's going to do what it's going to do what it's going to do, then it's a great way to do it. So, yeah, I think that's really, it's an admirable thing, because if he's not doing it, and if it's coming out of his mouth, he did the research and he knows. So that's a great quality, and that's why it's a great program. One of the reasons it's a great program.
Thanks,
but you know, so now if everything is just sitting in there, you have everything sitting in there with this, you know, with what we're talking about, our little family of cryptos that we're talking about. If it does get to, say, it stagnates for a while, how can they, you know, how, with what we got, what is the best way to kind of still take advantage of maybe a passive income stream of what these are within this family that we talk about?
Yeah. So like DeFi, I think is what you're getting into, decentralized finance and staking and things like that. So what's great is if you guys haven't heard about this, there's a type of crypto technology called decentralized finance. They call it DeFi for short. And what DeFi does is it decentralizes financial tools that are typically only accessible to the 1%, financial elite. So things like being a market maker, being able to participate in liquidity pools where you can provide liquidity to a network and get paid for doing so. But the more famous one and the easiest form is staking. So staking is pretty popular. A lot of different blockchains will do it. XRP does not do staking, although in the future they may, if the community votes on it, it may get integrated into, XRP's functionality. But what staking basically is interest generation. So you can create interest on your tokens while you're holding them, regardless of what the market's doing. So you're basically making your money work for you at that point. Instead of working for your money, you want your money to work for you, right?
Giving
So
your money a job.
yeah, exactly. Give your money a job, let it make more money for you all day, every day. And that's how you create generational wealth is you need to be able to be making money in your sleep while you're not doing anything. And that's how you have true financial freedom. And that's what crypto is allowing us to do. Even if you only have $100 in, or if you have hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars or whatever it is, you can still participate in this. And that's what's great is it's a level playing field for all, which is what Trump has been talking about forever. We're creating a level playing field. And I believe Trump's new crypto platform is going to be a DeFi platform, the World Liberty Financial, where I think you'll be able to do things like staking and yield farming and liquidity pools and things like that. So, for us, the main ones we're doing are on COREUM and on Flare networks. And COREUM is, I think, the more profitable of those two right now in terms of percentages that you're getting. It's doing 25% annual returns, which is, wow, as you know, that's like incredible, awesome, right? Yeah. So wow, even in crypto, like that's really high. Most are 8 to 10% maybe on average.
Yeah.
But because COREUM is so small, and not that many people are using it yet, even though it's this institutional enterprise grade blockchain, it has these high rewards. And that may come down in the future as more people participate. But I honestly expected it to come down more because when it started, it was at like 50% APR, which is annual percent rate. And it's come down to about 25%, but I would have expected it to be lower. It's actually kind of gone up a little bit, which is interesting.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, and as it gets bigger, right? So that will get more of a kind of a safer bet as it's getting bigger. So that's why then the reward comes down a little bit. So just the risk to reward, that's why it would be coming down.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, and what's great about it is it pays out in real time. So it's not like I don't know how it works with like dividends or, that's more your area. So you'd be able to explain it better. But I know with certain kinds of payouts in the traditional financial system, it's yearly or quarterly or whatever it be. Quarterly, but yeah, quarterly. So with staking on COREUM, it's micro payments in real time. So you look at your wallet app and you refresh it. And every time you refresh it, there's more money coming in every single time. And so if you're claiming these rewards once a month, once a week, every couple of days, that's about what I do on average. Just when I think of it, I'll go in, press a couple buttons, claim those rewards, and then I recompound them, which it allows you to do in the app. So you could sell those rewards. You can use it as passive income to, buy groceries and whatever you need. But if you can hold on to it, which is our strategy right now, reinvest it, recompound it, which it'll do for you automatically, then you can get a net yield of greater than 25%. So that's where in crypto, they differentiate between APR and APY, where APR is the flat rate, that would be 25%, but the APY is what you could get if it is compounding, which
compounding powerful.
Yeah. So it depends on how often you're compounding it as to what that APY rate could be, but it'll end up being significantly higher. So if you stack now and you do that, and then the US dollar price goes up, then those rewards that you've been collecting and compounding, all of a sudden those are worth a ton of money. And that can really, really benefit you in the long run and in the next couple of years. And I think Corium is, because it's such a small market cap, it's like 30 cents, something like that right now. I think it's going to $10 or so this bull run cycle before utility even really kicks in. So you can do the math and see what it could be. And of course, not financial advice. I'm not telling you it's going to do that, but that's my personal kind of price target for what it'll be in the next year or so.
Where's your price target?
$10. And the reason that's what it is because normally I don't give price targets, but they actually came out as the organization behind Corium. They had this IOU token called XCore, which was an airdrop for XRP holders where they got free Corium, but it was in the form of this IOU called XCore. And they said they would redeem that into Corium at if one of two things happened, either March 25th, I think it was 2025 comes, or $10 hits. So they were expecting that $10 could potentially happen before March of 2025, which is why I think it's possible so soon.
And you know what I'll do is I just want to, because a lot of people hear that how powerful compounded interest is, and they really don't, when you don't see it. So what I want to show the audience up just so you can kind of see what he's talking about and how powerful compounding could be.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you. And this is, if you were to, let's say you were to find a penny every day for 30 days, you would have your APR, say, if you just like that would be equivalent, you would have 30 cents, right? Now, if you found that penny and it compounded every day, so you doubled it every day, 1 penny, then the second day, 2 pennies. So this is what you're looking at. So by day 30, it becomes $5.3 million. And that's over $5 million just starting with a penny. And this is the breakdown. So on day 10, you'd be at $5.12. Day 20, 5,200. Day 25, 167,000. And just in 5 more days, you're at 5.3. So wow. That's what compounding does. And, you can take these 30 days and, you could, let's say you started instead on those, say from the 1st to the 30th of a month, instead of starting on the 1st, let's say you started on the 5th, the difference would be between the 167,000 and the 5.3 million, just losing 5 days because you procrastinated, or because you didn't get started or pull the trigger and starting your compounding journey. So that's the the adage where it's important to get started. It doesn't matter where, but it matters just get started, because the compounding becomes very, very powerful. And it's just, you can see within 5 days, that's a very big difference. Those last 5 days.
What percentage is that results in these results? Or can you explain the beginning?
Yeah. So basically it was just, if every day for 30 days, if you found a penny on day 1, and then day 2, you found 2 pennies. Day 3, you found 4 pennies. Yeah, and then 8 pennies, right? The 8, then 16, 32, 64. And you keep doing that, just from starting with a penny in 1 month period of time. If that happened, that last day, you'd be at 5.3 million. Yeah,
that's incredible.
So yeah, that's why compounding, when you hear compounding, it can really be powerful. And the biggest thing is most people don't leave it. And even though that reinvestment, button's there for crypto and stock and mutual funds and all these other things that have it, most people they're not, you kind of have that long-term effect of holding it in for too long. So, but if you can get that on a 25%, APY, and then you're compounding and it's being paid out like it is, where you're compounding on that the more you do it, the faster that would grow. I would love to do it by that. Like if you refreshed every 5 minutes, right? I would love to see, even though they'll be smaller ones, but over 30 days, that's got to be what a massive difference, man. That would be something to kind of gauge that, and it that would be a good test to see that. But anyway, yeah, no, that's
I think there are trading bots. I think there's like certain wallets that'll do that too, where even though like the way we have it set up, you have to go in and do it manually. I think there's ways that you can code it in if you're technically inclined, where it will just do it, you know, every second or whatever. So you're really maximizing it.
Yeah, and that would be, and if you have any, especially if you have any type of money in there, that's, you know, a decent pop. But I'll tell you one thing, either way you go, like if you look at like you were saying, one of the ways that this could really be beneficial to the average person, right? So like everyone's going to get this shot is their paychecks. So as they're working, they're getting paid in real time, and it's getting paid out into, say, you know, say they're choosing COREUM and they're going to choose the 25% staking, right? Is it the staking, right?
Yes. Yep.
So they're getting that 25%, and so their paycheck, you know, let's say they get paid every 2 weeks, and they did that every day. Every time they're working, their paycheck would start to get considerably higher when they do that. And who knows what, you know, depending on how much they're making and how much COREUM is actually moving up. I mean, that can be over 2 weeks. That can pay, you know, your rent, your car insurance, you know, just from the compounded interest. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that would be
future. That's the future. Definitely. I think in the next few years, blockchain will get integrated into payroll in the workforce. And even if people aren't staking it, which I think they will be able to, but even if they're just getting paid in real time, that's such a game changer, where you don't have to wait for a paycheck every 2 weeks or a direct deposit, but getting it in the moment, that's huge. And then like you're saying, if you can then stake it too and create passive income, and that's where I think that could be the future of UBI. I forget if we've talked about this, but universal basic income, you know, like Elon has been kind of saying, yeah, we're going to need some kind of form of UBI because AI is coming in so fast. It's going to, you know, replace a lot of jobs, and people will need something to stay afloat. But we don't want to be reliant upon the government for a check every month, right? Most people don't. They don't want to. I mean, maybe some people are fine with it, but most people don't want to be dependent on the government, because then that's when they have control over you. So if we have some kind of initial financial redistribution that is, you know, say everybody gets 100K, or say it's something really nice like $1 million, you know. I know a lot of the Jasara people think that there's billions of dollars coming for everybody, and I don't think that's the case, because price inflation would be crazy. You know, things wouldn't make sense in that point. But if everyone got some, you know, a couple 100,000 or $1 million just as a single time retribution for the crimes against humanity that have happened, and an abuse of all these, you know, government expenditures, say you get that check and then you can stake it for 25% or whatever it is, even if it's just 10%. Well, if you get $1 million and you get 10% of that a year, that's 100K, and people can live comfortably on that, right? And so if you spend it all, well, you know, if you go buy a Ferrari or a $1 million house, well, then you're out of luck, right? You've wasted it. But if you compound it and you keep it, you could grow wealth really fast. And I see that as a good solution for, you know, the whole UBI thing, where you're now self-reliant instead of reliant on the government itself. You get a one-time check, and then it's up to you. Do you use it resourcefully, or do you waste it?
Yeah, and you want to know, and that's where I don't know if we spoke about it in one of our shows. I mean, just had a conversation at it, but that's where you know, the way it's a great way to understand how to maximize that money rather than just going through it is if you look at whatever money you get from like your job, or say you got, say, like you just said, you get we all get say $1 million for the crimes against humanity. So we get that, and we have that. So instead of spending that $1 million, you invest $1 million. That's your cycle one money, is the $1 million. Your cycle two money would be the money you make off the $1 million. Yeah. So if you want to spend money on anything, you would spend money on your cycle two money, not that cycle one money, because that's going to be making money. And the further you can go up in the cycles that's the money you're spending, the more wealth you're building, and it'll start to get to generational wealth, because that means that the money you made, your cycle two money, is money you made off an investment. Now you're investing that money, which the returns on that become cycle three money. And if you're using that, now you have two chunks, two piles of money that are making money for you that you're able to do stuff with. So the further out you can start to push that, if you can look at like that. And when I was kind of, I heard someone talking about it like that, and it was a couple of years ago, and it just, when I was like, this would be a great way to explain it to my clients, because as I'm trying to explain it to them in different ways, they were saying yes, but they really didn't. But once I was like, if that's your cycle one, you want to get the cycle, and then it's kind of like it clicked. And when he said that, I can't remember who said it. I think it was someone in the real estate business actually that I was talking to. But yeah, that's exactly right. If you get that $1 million and you just take chunks out of it, and you're buying a car and flat screen TVs and all that, what we normally do, we just kind of go splurge. Instead of doing that, if we took it like you said and we just invested and let it grow, and then out of that, anything that it grew from, that's what you budget, what you're going to buy from, and you always have your base, and it just keeps building. That's going to be the way. But when you look at schools, there is nothing in schools that are being taught on how to do this. When I was going to school, I went through college, and all I did through college is I walked into college with no credit cards. I left with 13 credit cards. I had a couple of $100,000 credit limit. And when I went to go work in the city, I was going to buy Hugo Boss suits and all, because, I was 21 years old, and I had no business having these cards, but there's no interest and pay it off. I wasn't even thinking about that. And, you have a finance degree. I knew the system. I could explain the systems and I can explain it, but to actually do it functionally and keep you have your checking account, what credit is, what interest is, how you should invest, compounded interest, different, all those, nothing is being taught to then. And after all this time talking that we should have this financial literacy in school, it's still not being done. My little one's in high school now. She's in a career institute, and they're touching a little bit more on like kind of adulting and working out your own problems, being your own advocate, and at least doing stuff like that. But still, financial literacy is nowhere near what. And so me, Lisa and I will go over stuff with her and show her some things, but no one's taught this stuff, and you literally come at it, whether it's high school, college, and you start working, it's kind of like a hit or miss. You're making these mistakes. Oh shit, that was bad. I shouldn't have did that. I got to do, and you start to learn by stepping on landmines. When, if they just took the time to teach like very basic things, I think it would be a game changer for people who don't come from money and don't see it. You know what I mean? My father was a mechanic. It's not like we had extra money where he was like, yeah, this is the investments we're doing, son. It wasn't like that. It was like, I got to work 3 jobs so we can eat, So it was like that was my financial literacy that you get, so.
And if we can teach kids this crypto stuff, if we, it's going to become easier. Right now it's new and it's intimidating and technical, but it's going to get easier and more accessible. And if we can get that into schools and teach kids about how to use this technology, that'll be huge, because that'll set them up for big things. And that's what's kind of cool about the meme side of things, like the meme coins. I don't know how familiar you are with this, but the Gen Z, Gen Alpha are huge into these meme coins. And that's
I had a really good one.
They're teaching themselves how to do all this crypto stuff because it's fun now, right? You're investing in memes, you're investing in jokes, and like they're learning the technology through that. And so there's kids that are making more money than us. Like there's kids that are
without a doubt.
They're locking in and they're doing crazy.
So a couple of things with that. So first, one of the things again that was really cool, and this was when I first kind of found you. So I don't remember all the steps, but I remember it was one of the coins had a bear coin. I don't know if it was an airdrop or it was just an NFT, something like that. But you were showing us how to literally do it, and I was trying it on my own, and I just couldn't get it. I seen all the bears on the coin, and it was actually you get it. They were giving it to you like free, and you could get. I don't know. I can't remember the.
I remember that. Yeah, there was the solo bears. I think that's what it was.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, but stuff like that. And then if there's airdrops that there's certain things you have to, to qualify. And if you're right there, you can just get what you need in there. So you qualify for, but most, like I had no clue on any of that stuff. So that's where, again, having a coach, there's so many things that you can take advantage of if you know what to look for. And if you don't know what you don't know, you can't, that's hard to, it would have been hard for me to complain about my ignorance, right? About going like, well, yeah, and complain about it when it's like, well, why didn't you get a coach to show you how to do it? And you do it. So, but there are so many little things that, that we really wouldn't have spoke about, because we kind of talk on the macro on these things, but there's so many little detail things that you can do to kind of always be maximizing your positions all the time. There's always these little things going on. And that's where you need the people who are in the know, who get you down that road. And then it's at some point, God bless you, do what you got to do on your, if you figure it out, do what you do. But you have to realize that coach, as you're evolving and learning, so are they. And their evolution is probably going to continue. It's probably that gap will always be there. If it's a good coach, he's going to, he or she is going to be learning just as much as you're trying to learn. So to always be able to, reach back out to Jace, because that he's becomes your lifetime kind of advocate there. And so, it's just, it's a great way to move through something like this. So, but isn't there all these little things that you can really maximize on, and how to do it? It's not just so cut and dry.
No, yeah, there's so many different micro, niches within crypto and communities and projects, and the memes are something that's what I'm really learning the most about right now, because I was pretty opposed to the meme stuff because I thought, oh, this is just mostly pump and dump, which most of them are. It is more of the gambling, but now I'm seeing that these memes are actually getting into the permanent culture and merging with the utility of the technology. And I think what we've seen with Elon, with the Department of Government Efficiency, Doge being named after the first meme coin, Dogecoin, like that tells you right there, these are going to stick around, because he's been promoting that nonstop. And now we have a government department named after a meme coin. Like, these things aren't going away. And what's cool about the meme coins is that they're grassroots community based. So instead of coming from an institution or coming from a company or coming from the big money, it's like straight from the ground, grassroots. The community puts it together. They're creating these group chats. They're creating memes together. They're creating new utilities and use cases. And then it's all about the community. So it really is like the community side of crypto. And that's where I had to kind of reprogram the way that I thought about it and be like, okay, there is, an investment opportunity here, as well as a really cool evolution of crypto culture and of culture in general. And it's becoming all over the world. Like, I saw a video the other day, for better or for worse, there's a video of a guy interviewing the Taliban, and they're talking about trading meme coins for profit. So it's like, everybody's getting in on it, like good money, bad money, all over the place. So
yeah, that's one of the things when I said I got the crypto bug back when I first started with you. I started looking at everything, and one of the meme coins, I had actually a few, but the one that really did really well, and it was just over the last probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 months, 6 months, like that. But it was at like 7/100,000ths of a penny, right? Which is, point zero 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 zero. Yeah. So you run out, boy, to the 100,000ths of a penny, and now it was at 1 cent the other day. So a $750 investment, when it would have been, because I had like 37 million of them, because they were so inexpensive.
You had some?
I bought it a lot. I didn't hold it the whole way, because I thought it was going to go, but I did pretty good with it. But if I would have held it till like today or last week when I looked at it, it was just, I just went to look at it for fun. It was at literally 1 cent, because I was telling Lisa, if this thing goes to 10 cents, we're millionaires at 3.7 million, because of 37 million of them. So
do you know what it was? Do you know what the coin was called? Do you remember?
Turbo. Yeah, Turbo.
Was that the snail?
Yeah, it's like the snail or turtle looking coin.
Yeah, okay, because that's from like a movie or something, right? Turbo the snail or something like that.
Yeah, and it's but I was reading up. I read up on it back when I got it, and so I thought it was it was in a good area. I don't know if it was in gaming. It was in one of the things where I felt like it was like a big industry, something like that. But that, and now, like, I know like Pepe is and now there's a new. They have one that's pre-IPO. It says I think another maybe 5 days. The Pepe something is going to be coming out as it's pre-IPO now. But I had Pepe and Bonk, and so there was like a bunch of these little ones. But it's so wild because you're trading for like pips, like those little like the way out in the decimal points. But if it catches a pump, it's
So this is where right now, okay, so previously all these meme coins, like the ones you're talking about, those have mostly been taking place on Ethereum and Solana. Those have been like the two most popular blockchains that people are creating all these meme coins on. And Ethereum is super expensive, which is why they moved over to Solana, because it was cheaper fees. But even Solana, I'm pretty sure, has fees that are, way more than XRP. So now in just in the past month or two, there's the ability to create XRP memes. There's this platform called First Ledger, and I'll give you guys, I have a referral code for it. I can give it to you guys let me see if I can throw it in the chat or something. But anyways, this platform, anybody can create a meme, and it's all on XRP. So it's super fast. It's essentially free transactions, which makes going in and out of these coins super easy. And what's amazing is that the majority of all of these coins are under a $10 million market cap. So majority of them around $1 million, and the whole market is like less than 100 million. And now when we're talking about some of these other memes, we're talking about in the billions, like Pepe, multi-billion-dollar. So if you catch an XRP meme, and I believe that this is going to be in this next bull run when XRP is really taking off. If you get some of these memes at $1 million market cap and they go to $1 billion, that's 1,000x right there. So, if you put in $1,000, that's $1 million.
Yeah. So, and it's cool. I did the calculation, dude. Even though I knew what it was in my head, right? Because it just, it's 10%, one decimal, right? Place over 1 cent, 2 decimal places over. I did it on the calculator like 7 times, going, no way. If I would have held this stuff till now, it would have been from 750 to 370,000. I mean, that is wild.
Yeah, crazy. Crazy.
So, but I loved it. That, and I had my Uphold wallet had probably 30 different meme coins. I would switch a bit, all the different one. That is a lot of fun. And when it moves, but what I was looking for was how to leverage it, because what I wanted to do is I wanted to leverage it. And just hit one, because I figured it's $500 or that you invest in, and if you leverage it right at say 50 times, and it goes down and you lose it, it's $500. But if it goes the right way, like what say Turbo did, and you had that leveraged, how do you do that? I got to see how that, I was nervous to do it, but.
Yeah, I don't know if you can leverage in Uphold. Most of the leveraging where you're doing margin trading, where you can multi-X what it is, most of those are on other platforms that are like crypto to crypto only.
That's why I couldn't find it. I didn't know how to do it.
Yeah, and I think, I'll see if I can find one. I know when I was doing leverage trading, not successfully, but when I was trying it years ago, I was using a platform called Femex with a PH. I think it was PHEMEX. And they have XRP leverage trading and stuff, but the meme coins, I'm not so sure. But what's nice about these XRP ones that I'm starting to look into is they're not yet on the exchanges, because they're all so small. So some of them have been listed on BitTrue, which is a smaller exchange that's crypto to crypto only. But like when one of these gets listed on Uphold or Coinbase or something like that, that's next level.
So if you create the meme coin, it's your coin.
Yeah, anybody can go and create one. Yeah.
Well, how is that? If someone buys it, they just pay you?
So I think that you have to set up how you want to do the supply. Basically you could sell it, which gets into weird legal stuff, which is why I haven't done any of it, because I'm waiting until all the legal clarity is there. But you can, what a lot of the successful projects do is, people will look at how much the dev owns. So the developer, the dev, you can see the wallet distribution. And if people see that the developer owns 50% or more of the supply, even 30% or more, they're like, no, I'm not buying that, because that's a rug project. That means that they're going to sell it on the market and
pull the rug out.
And pull the rug out. So yeah, exactly. So what people do is they lock most of the supply in a liquidity pool. So there's a liquidity pool that's built in. There's an automated market maker that's built into the XRP ledger, and you can put the majority of the supply in the liquidity pool for the automatic market maker. So when people are buying, they're not buying it from you, they're buying it from the liquidity pool itself. And then that liquidity pool goes lower over time as more holders join and buy more assets. And that's basically what runs the market at that point. So before all this, it would be like you would just sell it directly as the person who created it. But that's when it was kind of shady because people could rug it. But now with these liquidity pools, it's like a safe way where, you know, they lock up a majority of those tokens and liquidity. And then it tells like investors, okay, this is a safer, you know, investment play. Yeah.
See, and that's where that's where some of the regulation would probably have to come in, because like in stock, you have, you know, like if you have stock that's under section 147, the restricted stock, if that thing goes public and you own a certain percentage of it, first, yeah, if you buy, I think it's 3 or 5% of the total outstanding, you have to file so people know you're buying that much of it. But it becomes a restricted stock, meaning you cannot sell within the first, say, 24 months of it going IPO or 12. So they have to hold it, and they can't do that. So at least you know if you're going into that, you're safe for a little bit of time where you're not going to get that rug pulled from under you.
Yeah.
So that's where that's a regulation where, you know, it protects to a certain point. So that would be cool. But that's a good point. And you just have to see what liquidity to put it in, and on it would be on whatever exchange, right?
So for this in particular, it's all happening on this new platform called First Ledger. And I tried putting it in the chat here, but for some reason it's not showing up. I don't know why, at least not what I can see. But I messaged it to Lisa right now on Instagram. So Lisa,
is that it right there? First Ledger?
Yeah, First Ledger. But I have a particular link that's like my referral code too. So I'll get a little kickback if you sign up through that link.
Okay.
Yeah, Lisa, if you want to take that and post it in the chat, basically what you do is you'll go to this First Ledger platform. You'll create a new XRP wallet with them. It's in like the top right. It says create wallet. You create a new wallet, you know, you write down your secret keys, all that good stuff. And then you load it up with some XRP. So you send some XRP there from your other wallet or your Uphold or wherever. And then you can just look at all the memes. You know, it puts them in order from the most popular to the least popular. So you can go through, and what I would say the best thing to do is to pick a couple of the top ones that you really resonate with. They call them the blue chip cryptos. And the blue chip memes, right? Which is funny. But pick a couple of the top ones. I think the ones that are associated with like XRP culture will be more successful. So there's one called Bear that is based around the Bearable guy, Ripple Riddler, which I saw Tyler and Aaron were talking about earlier in the chat. There's one called Drop, which is like named after how 1/1,000,000th of an XRP is called a drop on the blockchain. So like if XRP is ever $1 million, you know, $1 of XRP will be called a drop. So this meme is named after that concept. And then there's other ones in there. There's like a 589 coin. There's one that I'm really invested in called Riptard, which is not very PC, but it's what people were called for being XRP holders by XRP haters for years. They called them Riptards, so they made this meme, and it's actually got a really solid community. So I've been putting money in that one. There's another one called Sigma, which my friend Zach of the Zen Lounge is really kind of spearheading their community, and I've got some money in that one too. So find the ones that feel right to you.
Yeah, so I just so you know, Lisa, she did put it in the chat, but I didn't see it come up in the chat. So
maybe you have to be a mod. Maybe it would have to be from the deep dives page.
She's gonna do it and go into the. So she's gonna switch her profile and she'll put it in.
Yeah. Yeah, it might be just because it thinks it's spam or something. They might be not. I
Yeah.
know they don't let you post links if you're not a mod or a channel owner, but
Okay.
yeah. So for people looking into this, be very careful. I would not recommend putting any serious money into this stuff. You know, if you only have a little bit of money, especially stick with the solid investments like XRP and XLM and Solo and COREUM and these other ones. But if you want to play around and have fun, you know, you could throw a couple of dollars in them or whatever you got, and just, you know, be aware that it is kind of the gambling side of crypto right now. But it's also not really gambling in that it's like it's a lot safer than gambling because you're investing in communities kind of at the end of the day. So if you go and you're in Telegram groups and you're looking and talking to people, you can get kind of a good idea. Yeah, there it is. Awesome. So yeah, if you're in Telegram groups and you know, more involved, you can kind of look at the different communities and see which ones vibe with you, and you know, go from there. So it's kind of gambling, but it's also evolving out of gambling, which is cool.
Yeah, and it's definitely a little better than a 50-50 shot.
Yeah, because it's not rigged by a centralized group like the casino is. You know, the
Yeah,
casino's kind of rigged against you. This is like just kind of.
This is like one of the emerging. You would say that this would be one of the like emerging trends in tokenized assets, right? This is one of the kind of emerging trends that this is moving into. So this is coming through XRP. You think this is going to start to spread over different, like of the, you know, the important coins?
I think so. Yeah. And I think XRP, I mean, I think XRP is going to probably flip both Ethereum and Bitcoin in the next few years. And moving through that, the XRP meme coins are going to be huge because it'll be the biggest platform and it's the cheapest, you know, for fees, and it's the quickest compared to Ethereum and Solana. So I can just picture that the next biggest meme coins, the next big Pepes and Doges, and the ones that are in the top 50 cryptos are going to be XRP meme coins. So if you can get in at the ground level, like this is the very, very beginning of this, like this only launched like a month ago. So there's some real opportunity. So, you know, you could put like, you could pick a bunch of different ones and just put like 10 XRP in all of them or whatever, like whatever feels right to you. But if you just kind of at least educate yourself and kind of start to watch it, even if you're not putting any money in, you know, you'll get a better idea so that as more big money comes in, you're ready to make some moves when that happens.
Yeah, and that's a great point. It's a great way to kind of be kind of, you know, jumping into like a very calm lake, and then a tsunami hits, and that wave, that's going to be a wave of XRP coming in, and that's just the meme coins are just gonna, you know, you're gonna fly. Yeah, that's where literally average people are made into, you know, millionaires. But I mean, that thing they really move for a small investment when they get going. So that's awesome. Thanks for sharing that, man. I didn't know XRP was doing that. That's cool.
And I'll help you out with it afterwards too. Like I can help you set you up with the platform and everything.
Cool, man. And and I have a question. I'll talk to you after, because I started going with the pre-IPO stuff, and now one came out, but I just have a question. But anyway, so yeah, we've been going. We'll kind of wrap up this week's Crypto Corner, and then, you know, we do every 2 weeks. So in not next Tuesday, but the following Tuesday, we will be back on, and, you know, just a couple of you know, things to just kind of summarize. When you look at, you know, we're really, next Tuesday is Christmas Eve. So
2 weeks is Christmas Eve?
Yeah.
Okay, so then maybe we skip that one, come back the next week.
Yeah, we come back the next week. Oh, that's New Year's Day. So we can do. If you know what we can do, if you want, we can do we can record something and just play it. So we're not, you know, we'll do something like that. So we'll work it out afterwards. Thanks for telling.
That sounds good. And I wanted, before you close out, Alexis put in the chat, have you seen the movie Spirited? Have you guys seen that? Because there's an interesting, you got to go watch this, because not only is it an entertaining Christmas movie with Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell, but it it feels like it's got XRP Ripple codes programmed into it. If you go if you just go on YouTube and you look up Spirited Movie Ripple, there's this song that they close out the movie with. Is the lyrics are almost, to me, literally about Ripple and XRP, where they talk about the price of it. They talk about it going from 2 to 4 and 4 to 8, and from hundreds to thousands to millions to billions, and the price never stops. And they talk about it changing the world and making an impact. And like, I think it's called Make a Ripple or something like that. But
can you sing a little of it?
Yeah, well, yeah. Let me see if I can pull up the lyrics. Because it's
you
like,
imagine me singing it, forget about it.
Yeah. It's crazy. I recommend going and watching it.
I saw the one of the adverts with Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell in the movie. So they're funny anyway. So it has to be a good movie.
So they say, okay, so every day I wake up with a single dream running through my head to throw a little stone into a mighty stream and watch the ripples as they spread. We fall in line, follow every rule, but is that something we should really take pride in? If you want to make a ripple, if you want to make a wave, playing safe and thinking small doesn't move the ball at all. There's humanity to save. Can we really make a ripple with our feet up while we float, too afraid to rock the boat? If we never test the waters, we'll never know just how far the ripples go. Do you want to make a ripple? If you want to make a ripple, ripple, ripple. And then they say, consider the consequences. And Will Ferrell says, consider the possibilities. And they say, now, if we choose this dude, one goes to 2 and 4 and jumps from 4 to 8. Ripple, ripple, ripple. Yes, soon, you guys, it multiplies to thousands more. Can you hear it reverberate? And then they just go on and on and on. And it's like,
wow, yeah,
it literally feels like the lyrics are about it in a coded way.
Yeah, and it's like a dual coded, and also that when they're bringing up the ripple, it's almost. But yeah, that's exactly how it is. That's that big. It's a big pond to jump in. Yeah. And if you don't take that, you gotta get to it.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, we got to check that out at least. But
it's on Apple, I think Apple TV or whatever.
So just the last day, I just wanted to see, as far as going into, did you see the guy that I think Trump is trying to tap to be the new Gary Gensler? He's like, he's a crypto.
Yeah, there's the new SEC head. I forget the guy's name, but there's the new SEC head, and then there's the crypto czar in the White House, who's like a different role. I think one of them was something Atkins, like Paul Atkins or something like that. But I don't remember as much about. I mean, they're both pro crypto, but I remember specifically seeing the crypto czar in the White House. There's a video clip of him where he's talking about the SEC Ripple case, and he's like, Ripple won, and he's like, this is vindicating for Ripple. Like, he was being pro XRP and pro Ripple.
Is that the guy from Boston, Massachusetts?
I don't remember.
Governor or senator or something.
I don't think he had a Boston accent, but I don't know if he was maybe from there.
Yeah, because there was one guy, but it seems like there's a couple of people like they're looking at that are so pro crypto. Yeah. And I think the guy who is going to be taking over for Gensler, he is Paul Atkins.
Paul Atkins, yeah.
That's what you're right. That's what you're talking about. Yeah. And I just saw. I gotta look at it. I just saw a quick right before I came on. We started, but it's a guy he's high up in one of the crypto either companies or something. I can't remember his name. But the good news is, starting of 2025, any of the regulation and the legal stuff that was happening, a lot of these things that was some of the things that was some of the biggest things that was holding literally XRP back. And now moving forward, where the chains are going to come off and things are changing, exposure is happening, and we are moving into this new world. The predictions, moving forward, it's hard to forecast because you just don't know how high it's going to go. But as far as the family of cryptos that we talk about, sky's the limit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. I mean, it looks fun. It's exciting.
Which is what they literally say in that Ripple song, is that they said it never stops increasing. It just keeps, like, the value goes up forever, basically. And they even are like other planets and maybe aliens, which is something that I've always kind of brought up on my channel, is like, I feel like not only is this going to be an interplanetary currency if we colonize Mars and other, you know, planets, or when that gets like kind of officialized, disclosed, but like maybe this will be connected to, you know, trading interplanetary with ETs and other groups and things like that.
Well, this XRP is, I think that's supposed to be the bigger thing. I mean, yeah, we can send it from, you know, here to Russia or China, wherever we can go across the world, but interstellar and Musk he wants to colonize Mars. And when that guy puts his mind to something, that guy, it's brilliant. And he gets that going. And it starts going there. That's a whole new economy. Yes. That's a whole new trade. So who knows how people think about it.
That connects to, I was going to bring up the PayPal mafia, who is the group that was associated with PayPal in its early days, which is primarily Elon and Peter Thiel. And Peter Thiel's been a big Trump guy. He was in his, what do they call it? Not chief of staff, but the people around, like transition team or whatever, in his cabinet. But this guy, I just looked it up, the guy who's the crypto czar, not Paul Atkins, but the guy who's in the White House, his name is David Sachs. And he's the PayPal, he's part of PayPal mafia group as well. And so Trump's VP, Vance, JD Vance, he is like Peter Thiel's right-hand guy. So Peter Thiel was also the angel investor for the company that would become Ripple back when it was called OpenCoin. So he was like one of the big initial investors. They called it OpenCoin, and then they changed the name to Ripple later. And so there's all these connections. And then that gets into, you know, X, the website X.com, and how X.com was originally a payments platform. That was what they were calling PayPal at first. And then Elon's bringing it back. And, you know, X payments are going to be a thing that gets unveiled soon. And he's already said they're not going to make a new crypto for X payments. They're going to use existing crypto infrastructures. And so, I mean, XRP, XLM, SHX, those all seem very likely possibilities with the X's to be a part of X.com.
How coincidental that Twitter became X. And everything is, you know, and then the name of the department that he's running is Doge, and then X. So it seems like, you know, that's his little meme, that meme coin that he, you know, was pushing the Doge. But I think that's where XRP and that family there, it's a lot of X's, and I think that I don't think it's a coincidence. I think it's all moving in that direction. So
I think Elon's under NDAs with XRP. Like there's only been one time that he's ever said the words XRP, and it was like a month or two ago when somebody asked him about it right before the election, and he was basically like I can't talk about that. Like he brushed it off pretty quick, but otherwise, you know, that's one of the top cryptos. You think he would have talked about it by now? So I'm pretty sure he's in meetings involving this kind of stuff, and it's going to be integrated, and it's just all, you know, under locks right now.
Yeah, because otherwise, I think they would be saying something like XRP, but when there is like, it's almost like nothing is like starting to be said, and it's one of the fastest transactional, you know, and it's where you heard that, you know, Wells Fargo is going to take payments in XRP, and all of a sudden it just kind of zipped up. I think I think it's just like the calm before the storm, and when it's going to it'll just start to take off. But you know, one of the things I just want to summarize here is, you know, we're talking about First Ledger. That's the XRP meme creation you can do, and there's a link in the description. So click on that. That's Jace's link, and it'll take you right there. And then you know, what we always try to do is, and just wrapping up real quick, is, you know, give you some things that if you want, it's not financial advice, but it's just what we do, and it's some things that you can actually take action on and start to move forward, as well as the link in the description for the Conscious Crypto Academy, which is worked at many times over as far as the value and what's provided. So that'll be in the description. And if you have any questions, again, please put them in the chat, and I'm going to accumulate a bunch, and we'll have something where we'll go over and answer those questions. Other than that, again, if you are unsure, make sure you stay informed and educate yourself, and get the right answers before you move forward. And then, until then, we'll see you in 2 weeks, although it's Christmas Eve. So we got to see, maybe we'll put a recording up if something happens, but we'll do something over the holidays. So you'll at least hear from us, especially going into 2025. If there's anything major happening, we want to make sure that we keep everybody informed. So until then, have a great holiday, have a great Christmas, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you. Take care.
Peace, guys.